Hello and welcome to another AOZ Origins tower defense video, and in this one I'm going to be going over the game mode, which is the tower defense game mode, kind of the namesake of the game. And this is something that this game has that I don't see too much in other games, and I like this quite a lot. Basically, it requires you to defend against hordes of incoming infected enemies, and I'm going to be going over the basics in this starter guide. So here we are. Okay, so first of all, we're going to be going over the 4 turret types. As you probably already know, there are 4 turrets. The top left-hand turret is the machine gun tower. This is a single target tower that is very good against the Zergy units, the little tiny ones that group up, the group enemies basically, not the ones with the yellow health bars that have got armor. This is very good against unarmored opponents. It has the highest damage out of all of the towers, but it is only single target and can get overwhelmed quite heavily, and that is of course going to be a massive problem. On some missions it is good to avoid this weapon, on others it is actually good to try and get one of these early on in the pathway, just to deal with some annoying little ones that can run through. The next weapon is the top right hand corner, the rocket turret, and quite like the machine gun tower, this is very good against the green health bar enemies, but it basically is more of a focus on grouped enemies, and you want to try and put this in a position where you can do the most group damage. Somewhere like Crossroads, to basically do as much area of effect damage as possible. It still does do damage against the yellow health bars, but nowhere near as much as the next tower. And that tower would be the bottom right here, and that would be the laser tower. As you can see, this actually bypasses armor. It has armor piercing damage, and it also has damage that gets gradually higher the longer it targets an enemy, which is very good against enemies that have high HP. Those little tiny enemies it will be able to take out, but it will not be able to get the best effectiveness of its weaponry. But eventually on any mission, even those little health bars do take quite a bit to take out, but it does focus as well the yellow health bars over the green, and this is actually quite important. So if you have 50 enemies passing this turret and 2 of them have yellow health bars and the rest have the green health bars, it will ignore the greens and it will focus the yellows. This is obviously great just because those ones are the ones you want to do damage to as regularly as possible. It can take a lot to take it down. You may not be able to take down one of those with one of these turrets. It might take 2 or 3 just because the HP bars on those are very, very high. And now the last one here is called the EMP tower, and this has 2 main usages. It is a damage dealing tower, dealing quite low damage, and it's mainly going to be nice against those green health bars just because they do have lower HP. But if you can see in this circle that surrounds this tower right now, any enemies in the circle will be slowed. So the combination with this tower with any other tower is extremely good. You're going to keep them slowed and in the other tower's range for longer periods of time. And if you have these spaced out on your defenses, then it's going to be good. You do not want to have them directly next to each other the majority of the time. Okay, so next what we're going to do is go over the upgrades of these towers, and every single tower upgrade brings the same thing for each tower. It brings more damage and better range. What we're going to do is we're going to use the machine gun tower in the top left hand corner as an example. If you place a tower and then when you select it, you can see the circle around it is the range, and then in the bottom right hand corner of the screen it will tell you the damage. Right now at base damage is 199. You can't see this directly on your screen, but it is 199. And then if I place another tower next to it, and exactly the same tower, and I upgrade this one, you can see it gets a visual upgrade, which is nice, but the damage also increases to 388, so just a little bit less than doubled. So generally speaking, it would be better to place more turrets than upgrading a turret, depending on how you want to set up your defense. But if you can notice the range of the turret now, see how far across the street it gets. It gets all the way across the street, plus however much of the other side of the street. And then if we click this turret up the top, you can see it only just gets all the way across the street. Now, why that's important is because if we fully upgrade this tower at the top, you can see it gets even better range and it can shoot on the right hand side as they come out. It can shoot all the way around this corner. Really nice. This is what you want to do as much as possible when it comes to upgrading your towers that are close to the exits or the entrances of your enemies. Now this is going to work identically between the machine gun tower, rocket tower and laser tower, where they will just get more damage, and the range of their shots, how far they can shoot, will also increase. The only other tower that is slightly different, and it's slightly different because it can slow, is the EMP tower. If you see the range of the EMP tower here, this is the area that it does damage. Very small amount. It's just 10 damage per tick. It could be every like half a second, every second. But if we increase it, you'll see the range of it has increased slightly, but that also increases the area in which enemies are slowed. So if we increase it again, you can see it greatly increases it, and it even slows slightly onto the right hand side and all the way around the corner here. The higher you upgrade your towers, the more range it will have, and that will be greatly beneficial for EMP towers in particular. But you may not want to over upgrade them in certain circumstances. If you have them placed in particular places, it can actually just be beneficial just to leave them at grade 1. For instance, if for whatever reason you wanted to place an EMP tower here, you're not going to get much benefit for upgrading it more than it already is. It's already going to be slowing the exit and the turn. The enemies are going to go down this road. I wouldn't necessarily say this is a good place to actually place one of these towers, but if you were in a similar scenario, this is all you'd actually have to do. The best you're going to get is just a little bit more slow going down this way here. The harder missions get, the more towers you can actually place closer to each other as well. So you could have other towers placed next to this in terms of like machine gun towers, laser towers, and take advantage of that slow even more. Okay, so we're going to go over some basic strategy now in terms of how I particularly like to set it up. You can see this particular map, it was only level 10 on the easier missions, and you can see just it basically is like a snail, right? It's like a snail shell. It just goes all the way around, and it comes all the way down this home stretch, and this is where the enemies are going to come out of this first entry point. There is a secondary entry point here, and it's always worth noting where the majority of enemies are going to go down, and that is this road here and then this road here. This area over here, only enemies out of the first entry point are going to go past. So you don't need to do too crazy upgrades on these ones, because if you spend all of your resources on upgrading turrets here, they're only going to be shooting the ones that are actually going to be coming out of this entry point. So I'm going to mainly be upgrading the ones that come along this line, the towers over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of slow towers first. And we're going to do an EMP tower, and then lastly, we're going to also do a couple of laser towers. I also love these towers just here. We're going to put a couple of those down. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to put a basic weapon down, just because this isn't going to be used too much. So if we do want to upgrade this one, we don't want to be spending too much. The cheapest one to upgrade is the machine gun tower. So we're just going to put a machine gun and just basically hope for the best. We can also put some slows in the future. We'll put one down here. Probably that's it. I think that's the only slows we actually need to put down. We do need to increase these a little bit just to get the range up on how far they can slow. I probably need to do this one more time, but it is quite expensive to do that, so I'm going to hold off for now. I'm going to upgrade this tower, and I'm going to upgrade this one. The laser ones are generally the better ones to upgrade, because the yellow health bars are as you probably will find out very soon, are the ones that are problematic and can be very fast. There are some very fast yellow health bars that can just steam through your defense, which is not very nice, honestly, which is not very nice at all. I'm going to also upgrade this one quite early, because it can shoot onto both entry points. You can see the splash damage doing pretty good. Some of these green health bars may be getting through. I want to just see if this tower down here does some damage. It might get the opportunity. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. It did a little bit. I heard the rattle. I heard the rattle of the machine gun. I'm not going to upgrade these two towers that you can see I can upgrade just for now. I'm going to save my currency because they're going to start coming out of this one up here soon. I have to decide what I'm going to do at that point. So let's see if this one makes it through. It doesn't make it through. That's nice. So we've got quite a lot of power here already. There's two now. I think one of these will get through, which is good. Just maybe it won't. It doesn't. This is actually pretty well defended. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a rocket tower, and we're also going to put one here, and I'm going to upgrade both of these. And this is the same. I really like the rocket towers on the entry points because you can see they just basically start shooting them the second they come out, and this one can just finish off the HP. And don't forget the EMP towers. This tower here does do a little bit of damage, not huge. Does do a little bit of damage. And then what I'm lastly going to do is probably place one last tower down here. We'll upgrade this as well. And now I'm pretty happy with all my. Even though I can place two more towers, or three more towers, I'm pretty happy with my towers now. And I'm probably going to just stick to upgrading them. And I think this is a really good one to upgrade. Actually, no, I think I'm going to upgrade this one. And that's because it's dedicated to the final stretch, whereas this one can shoot them coming out the entrance, where I could potentially want them to focus the final stretch. I want to just show you the fast yellow HP. There we go, this one's very quick. Look, he'll just start steaming along. He's much faster than the others. The slow doesn't do too much against him, so it's quite important that we do as much damage with, and it's only the laser towers that can actually do damage. So that's why we've upgraded this one, and we're hoping it'll be good enough. It might not be. It's going to be close. Oh, it's going to be close. That is a real problem to enemy, honestly. Real problem. And I think we have to deal with 2 or 3 at a time sometimes. Okay, I'm going to get the final stretch in. Get those yellow health bars disappearing really quick, please. Do I need 156 for this upgrade? There we go. I think we should be okay. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Might actually upgrade this. More slow. And I'm going to upgrade this one as well, just to give it a little bit more slow. There is still one enemy alive from the last wave, but it should be alright. Okay, just a little bit more slow. A bit more damage too. The EMP towers just gradually go up, like, I think it's 10, 20, 35 or something like that. Okay. So we've got 100. I'm just going to place some very basic towers around. We can also upgrade this tower, this one. We've fully upgraded. 3 is the highest I can upgrade these, so I would keep upgrading otherwise. I want to focus on the final stretch. Towers and turrets. And then I'll go to this one. You can see the range of this turret is massive now. I think we're pretty much done. We've just got this big boss here, and that's why we upgrade the range of this. I mean, the green circle isn't the range of this apparently. It's much higher, much higher than the green circle. But it's pretty much the green circle on all these other towers, as you can see. So we'll see when it. Okay, I don't think this one will start firing. We've done well. We've done well. We did this perfectly, and it's just about using the right towers and turrets in the right positions, and not going overboard on certain towers. If you just use all of one tower, you're only going to be good against certain types of mobs. Like if you're using all rockets, it's going to be good against all root monsters. If you're using all lasers, it's going to be really good against the bosses, but it's going to be not as powerful against the little ones. And the little ones, if they can just charge through and overwhelm them quite a lot. And then the same with the The machine gun towers, they're nice at just, it's just basically, generally speaking, I think it's nice to have a combo. The slow towers, the EMP towers are just vital. Okay, so I hope that's been a nice little starter guide for you when it comes to the tower defense. I think once you start to implement some of the things I've said, I think the rest should sort of fall into place. You'll get an idea of where things are good to place and get a better idea of it. And just don't forget you can just retry in classic mode. The other mode is infinite zombies, which we might have a video coming out about in the future. But it works pretty much like classic, except you get just one try and those enemies are damn hard. Do let me know in the comments down below if there's anything else you'd want me to make some content on with regards to AOZ Origins. That is the end of my video. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. As always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.